I went through the options book, and I think this quite possibly could have been the most expensive 72 Corvette sold in 72. Hey everybody, I'm Chris. We're here at Fast Lane Classic Cars. We've got Jake behind the camera. Today we have a special treat for you. It looks like a chrome bumpered C3, but there's much more to it than that. This is a 1972. It's an LT-1. Last year for the LT-1. The LT-1 came out in 1970 as a solid lifter small block. I believe it was rated at 370 horse, and it was just a little screamer. In 71, the compression dropped a little bit, so they weren't quite 370 horse. I think they were 330. And then in 72, on paper, it looks like it took a big dive, but that's because they went from rating the horsepower as gross to net horsepower. So that means they rated the engine with all the engine accessories, the alternator, the water pump, and so on, smog pump. So it's not too much different than a 71, but on paper, it looks like it's a lot less. So you see an LT-1, it's a convertible. They only made, I think, 240 or 250 LT-1s in 72, but the kicker is this one has factory air. I'm sorry, 250 LT-1 air cars, but only about, some sources say 15, some say 20 in a convertible. So LT-1 convertible with air, wonderful. But there's more. This one has 2 tank stickers because it is loaded with options. I went through the options book, and I think this quite possibly could have been the most expensive 72 Corvette sold in 72. Auxiliary hardtop, deluxe leather interior with the wood grain and the cut pile carpet, 355 axle ratio, power steering, power brakes, air conditioning, Tele for the steering. Oh, stereo, which was a very expensive option. So stereo is, some of the younger guys, well, stereo is just a radio. It's like, well, not really. Back in the day, you had monotone. Stereo was pretty trick, and when you found a station in stereo, the little red light would indicate that now you have stereo. It was an expensive option. It was almost more than the engine option itself. So in 72, the LT-1 was a more expensive engine option than the LS5 big block. And the stereo option was nearly as much as the big block option. Crazy. So you don't see a lot of them with stereo. Both tank stickers are still with the car. We also have a lot of original documentation from when it was first purchased, you know, registrations that were renewed over the years, and some ownership history. So super neat car. The luggage rack, that's listed on the options list. Let's see, we said the rear gear ratio, power windows, power steering. A lot going on with the car, so very rare. So someone who's tired of all the C2s, we all love the C2s, and they're great cars, but you gotta look at the C3s. The early C3s are becoming collectible, they're going up in value, and my personal opinion is this is an incredible candidate for someone to add to their collection. So we're gonna take the top off, go for a drive, we'll pop the hood, show you around the car a little bit more. Okay, top is off, let's flip our visors up, hood's open. I love the finned aluminum valve covers they use on the LT-1s, they look great. Let's see, we might be missing a decal or two. Otherwise, you've got your frigid air AC pump. The original smog pump is still in place, and it's all still plumbed. Belts on it, so it's spinning. Alternator, date code correct, everything's numbers matching, carburetor's correct. There's been maintenance over the years. This is not a restored car. It's been repainted, but the rest of the car has just been maintained. The interior is original. You can see where, you know, this driver bolster has been replaced, but the rest of it is mostly untouched. Carpet's believed to be original. You can see the wood grain is starting to show some age. You know, it's not real smooth, but how many of these are still original? And it's a nice car. You almost don't want to, you know, mess with it. 65,000 miles on the clock. I believe 100% that those are original miles. You'll notice the tach, the red line, is right at 5,500 RPM. They did that on the AC cars to try to discourage you from revving the daylights out of it, because the non-AC cars redlined at 6,500. They're solid lifters. Great engine, still makes great power, but now you have the luxury of air conditioning.
Yeah, just don't turn on your AC and rev it a little bit more.
Well, yeah. Let's see, since we've had it, we've done a lot of good detailing on it. It was long-term ownership out of a big collection. We put the right tires on there, Firestone white ovals. Those are brand new. We refinished the wheels. It was in good shape. We didn't have to do a lot to it. Oh, and it has a tan top to kind of match the saddle leather interior.
Do you want to open the shell and just show it in there? There it is.
Here we go. So you got the cut pile carpet that came with the deluxe interior option, along with leather and the wood grain.
And there's that replacement bolster you were talking about.
Yeah.
So
that's
one repair that we have on the interior, really.
true. That was done before we acquired the car.
All right, you want to start it up and take it for a spin?
Yeah. You have the keys?
Yes. All right, here's your microphone back.
Thank you.
Typical C3 headlights.
Yeah.
They get up.
They're there.
Although, if you know anything about C3s, it's good that they even go all the way up and back down again
That's true.
and function. All right. Oh,
Let me know when we're rolling.
seatbelt. We're already rolling.
Oh, okay, cool.
We're going.
So engine's cold. We just started it up. We started it up this morning. You can tell it's still warming up. Wonderful oil pressure, 70 pounds, nice and tight. System's charging a little bit. We got a little more than half a tank. Clock's not ticking, but hey, does anybody really care about time?
No.
Does anybody really know what time it is?
Right, twice a day.
Yeah.
You got your radio down there as well.
Radio, yep, and that little indicator right there, that's the stereo light that'll glow red when you find a station in stereo.
And then there's your AC controls.
That's right.
It says Max AC on
Max,
there.
Max AC. Tilt Tele, one of my favorite options for a C3 is you get such a nice wide range of getting in, because sometimes they're a little tough to get in. You know, if you got a little bit of a belly,
Yeah.
tilt that puppy up, slide the wheel out, and get out of this thing. Let's see, you know, this is an indicator of factory air conditioning. Otherwise, it was just a plate that said Corvette. So that's a quick telltale of most likely a factory air-conditioned car. This one's got tank stickers, so we know for certain that it's a factory air car. First Corvette I've seen with dual tank stickers. It's loaded with options. It's kind of like a Mopar having dual fender tags.
Huh.
So, neat car. Like I said, I don't think there was an option missed. I couldn't find one that was available with the way it was spec'd out. I mean, there are other engines, but you can only get one engine.
Right, and this is the most expensive engine you could get, so.
Yes, in 72.
In 72.
In 71, he had the LS6, which was top dog. Solid to big block. All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. One thing I like about the C3 is that you no longer get a glove box, you get these cool pockets
That's right.
over here.
You got little glove boxes behind you.
Yeah, you do have boxes back there. One of them has the battery in it, the one behind the driver, and then the other two are for storage.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get these little leather pockets, or vinyl probably, up here on the front.
I love the look from the driver's seat. You got the cool gauges that are nice and deep sets. You got the fenders that come up. It's just great.
Yeah, I like how massive the gauges are, especially the tack.
Yeah.
Easy to read.
Easy
Everything
to
you
read.
want to see, nothing you don't. The rest of the gauges being in the middle is kind of cool. It looks like a cockpit almost
I think that was the idea.
in an airplane.
So it's got optional 355 gears. Stock was 336s, which are fine, but 355s, in my opinion, are perfect. So you can still have enough get up to go and have fun around town, but you can also get on the highway and cruise.
Yeah. And this thing only has 4 speeds.
Right.
So any longer it'd be kind of a dog.
Yeah.
And any shorter you'd be screaming on the highway like you're saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can Like I've got a 70 at home that has 370 gears.
That's not terrible.
That's about it though. It had 411s and that was too much.
Yeah.
370s are nice. 355s are just about perfect.
And down here you also have the hideable ashtray. And this is your cigarette lighter. In case you want to take up smoking, kids.
That's not a cigarette lighter. That's a lid for your phone charger.
Yeah.
That's what that is today.
True. But you could smoke, but don't.
Don't do it in this car.
Smoke tires, not cigarettes.
Yeah, don't smoke at all, and don't do it in this car.
Yeah,
it's too nice.
It is
too cool.
way too nice. This one was well kept.
Yeah, there's only a handful of what I would call the collector grade blue chip car early C3s. You know, you've got the LT1s are always great, and then in 70 LT1 is great because it's high power, but in 72 it's just extremely rare to find one with air, and then to get a convertible with air is just incredible.
And with stereo.
Right. Other than that, you know, you've got your 71 LS6 cars, which are big bucks. You can get a ZR1 or ZR2 in 71, and those are basically the stripped down LT1s and LS6s. So
never heard of the ZR2.
The ZR2 is the big block version of the ZR1. So radio delete, J56 brakes, F41 suspension package. It's just, you know, you cannot get leather, you can't get power windows, you can't get power steering. It's just a store-bought race car.
Yeah.
So there's only a handful of these super collectible early C3s. And to me, this one is the most usable because it's comfy. You've got air conditioning.
Yeah.
The rest of the collectible high-dollar C3s, you know, are solid lifter, you know, big blocks, or like the ZR1, where you're really just getting, you know, like I said, a car ready for the track.
Yeah.
This is delightful. You got power windows, you got leather, power steering, power brakes, again,
And
the air.
I love the addition of the auxiliary hardtop too.
Yeah.
Because if you're not really a convertible guy, you can just put your hardtop on and then you basically just have a hardtop car.
Yeah, it's like a coupe almost.
Yeah. But if you're a convertible guy, just take it off and run your soft top.
There you go.
It appeases to everybody.
It's a really good looking hardtop. Not every car with a hardtop looks good, but they nailed it. It's one of the best looking hardtops that I've seen.
I think it showed up with the hardtop on, and when I saw it, I didn't even think anything of it. I thought it was just a coupe.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a convertible because it just fits so nice. The body lines that it follows is just perfect. It looks great.
I'm gonna mix it up and go a different route.
Sounds good to me.
The mechanical Muncie.
The Muncie is one of my favorite 4-speeds ever made.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of a BMW or a Porsche, but you're just like butter.
Yeah.
This is just more mechanical. You gotta man up a little bit. It's not bad, but you know, you just feel that it's mechanical and it's older. And
I like that about it though.
It's very clear when you get into gear, you know you're there.
I was gonna say there's something to be said about knowing 100% whether or not you're in the gear.
Yeah.
You get a nice solid clunk.
Oh yeah.
When you slot it in.
Yeah, these are the cars that got power shifted, you know, people just throwing their arms out, racing these back in the day.
Yeah, well you had to with these things.
Yeah.
Or else,
today you're a little more gentle with it because they're collectible and they're worth a lot more.
yeah.
Back then they were just, you know,
Cars.
used cars you pick up for a couple $1,000. You know, I think this one, when I was adding up the options, I'll have to double check it when we get back, but I want to say this would have stickered for a little over $7,000.
Wow.
With a base price of just over $4,000.
In 72, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
I'll put the inflation rate,
Okay.
real number today, what that would be in 2025 money.
Yeah, we'll get back. We'll look at my Corvette Black Book and price it out.
Yeah, because I want to know how much that is compared to like a C8 now.
Right.
If it lines up with like a Z06 or something.
I'm sure it's up there. This is a little bit of a bumpier road, but it's not bad.
No, I'm
People
not
say
kidding.
these C3s ride terribly. They're really not. I think they ride a little bit smoother than some of the late model cars that have the rubber band tires.
Oh yeah.
And you know, the track suspensions. It's just, it's
You have
nice.
a lot of sidewall soaking up the bumps.
I love a sidewall. Nothing wrong with a 15-inch tire with a tall sidewall, you know. You're not autocrossing the thing. Just go out and drive and have fun.
Right, and I'm comfortable in this thing. The seats are really comfortable.
Yeah, they are.
The
They're
buckets,
nice.
and you have this pad here in the middle that you can just remove. It's just sitting there.
Yeah,
but
it's good because some people lean on here too hard and they crack it.
yeah.
So this is just a little protection.
Plus, it's a nice soft armrest, so might as well.
Man, it's warm today.
It is very hot.
We're in St. Louis, St. Charles. It's June 26th, and I think it's right around 95. with a heat index of probably 105.
Yesterday got up to 105 heat index, yeah. I think today's basically exactly the same.
But this thing's still happy. Oil pressure's come down a little bit because the oil's thinning out, getting warm. Water temp is still nice. It's moved, so it's working.
And by oil pressure coming down, it's still at 60 pounds. So
yeah, it's still great. It's still nice.
Still fantastic.
Yeah, and I give it any kind of revs, and
yeah, it's up to 70, 75. Really nice.
Oil pressure is a great thing.
Oil pressure, you need that in your engine. Maybe the most important thing to have.
I think so. Is this my left?
Yes. Blinkers work, and then you have the blinker lights indicating on the dash, I think, in front of you.
Yeah. No more fiber optics. They dropped that after 71.
You still have the, oh wow. Oh my goodness.
What a great noise. Wow. Yeah, that was mild there. That was about a half to 2/3 throttle.
Yeah, I could tell.
Up to about $4 grand. But that induction noise is just addictive.
That was awesome. My boonie hat almost came off.
Can't have that. Is this still closed?
Yeah, we can go in over here.
You know, on a car like this, I don't want flow masters or loud exhaust because the sound of the engine is just so nice.
Yeah, you don't want to drown that out.
The induction noise from the carburetor. Gosh, it's great. You can hear a little bit of the whine from the Muncie. Not like an M22, but still you can hear it.
We'll just pull like over here or over here.
All right.
And then I'll get you coming by on the road out here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure it sounds great over, outside of the car. I do want to hear it. I like, we do still have the plate down here. I think, didn't they usually put horsepower? This one they have torque. Well, I think after they changed the rating from gross to nets, it wasn't as impressive. So but torque is, torque is actually more important, I think. Torque is what gets you going, and horsepower keeps you going.
Torque is what you feel in the seat.
Right. So 9-to-1 compression. We'll have to check and see what the 71 compression ratio was. I think it's pretty darn close.
350.
And that would hold true to the the horsepower rating just changing, but the power is still nearly the same as the 71.
It feels great, and 360 pound-feet of torque isn't nothing.
Yeah, that's nothing to to frown on. That's plenty for this car that weighs probably 3,200, 31, something like that.
It's a fiberglass car. It's not that heavy.
No.
All right, you want to? I'll hop out.
Okay.
I'll see what it sounds like from out here.
Okay.
Oh, the horn works. Very nice. So Chris just told me he's going to do a couple normal, just casual driving flybys first, and then he'll do one where he kind of gets on it. I really hope this camera doesn't overheat before this is done. That was very normal, Chris. You were right. Boy, that sounds good. He was moving. Yeah, it's not a slow car, ladies and gentlemen. We would never claim that. Wow, that sounded great too. It sounds good coming at you. That induction noise and the engine noise, like he was saying, just sounds incredible. Here, hold this up to your face. How was that?
That's lovely. It's great.
It sounds almost better coming at you than it does going away.
Yeah, because of the engine.
Yeah, I know. It sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
And you were moving.
Yeah, I was scooting. I mean, I took it up a little over 4,000 RPM, but we have a numbers matching LT-1, so
yeah,
I'm not gonna stress it out. That's where torque and horsepower are starting to meet a little bit, so it's a good happy spot.
Yeah. You ready to take it back?
Come on in.